Hi, and welcome to Inside the Creator, the place to be for mindset, emotional wellness, and self discovery for the creator in you. Today, we are talking about Emotional Wellness 101, how to feel good and create better. So, we all are out here creating content, creating this, that, the next for self expression, for our well being, for money, right? For legacy. And I know that we live in more of like a hustle culture where if you are not physically looking like you are hustle, 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 it seems as if you are not doing the thing. And I would just like to suggest tending to your emotions as you create your empire, as you create your legacy, as you create your thing, right? And I think the one I have five things that you can do to make your creative journey more healthy, emotionally, and um, more fun, right? More relaxed, as opposed to grind, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. Yelling at yourself and all crazy stuff like that. Um, so the first one is self-compassion and grace, and this one is being able to speak to yourself in a supportive, positive, empathetic tone. Some people are really, really, really good at this. I am not. I still have to catch myself pressuring myself, making me feel bad. And that just doesn't work. I did it because that's the way I was programmed, or that's the way I programmed myself from younger years of trying to be perfect, trying not to make mistakes, trying to just be a good girl, right? I'm putting that in quotes. So I was very, very hard on myself all the time. And it works for what it works for, right? It worked for what it worked for. It helped me to be successful at the things I am successful at. However, again, it doesn't work long term, right? It's not sustainable. So when I started to be a little more compassionate towards myself and really like, how can I say? I want to say it in a nurturing way where you set some type of goal, you set some type of plan, and you don't do it for whatever reason. Before, I would just rip myself to shreds. And what came about from riding myself that hard was that I realized that I was like, I don't want to do this, right? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Um, I didn't want to do this in the first place. So, what came out of that was just negative messaging when it came to creating into my gifts. So, I didn't want to do it anymore. And again, it wasn't like that when I was younger, when I first started to develop the behavior. But as I got older, I'm like, listen, number one, I wouldn't let anybody else talk to me like that, right? So why am I letting me talk to me like that? So it just became to a point where it's like, okay, if I was showing myself some compassion around this, what would I say, right? Or what would I do? And number one, I would definitely say, you're doing great. This is a small setback. You can just get right on back in there. It's okay. You're okay. You're enough. I know you're scared. Being scared is okay. Right? Things like that. I'm able to do that now. And I noticed that I'm also able to extend that to others. Right? Because before, when I was so hard on myself, one thing about beating yourself up, you're going to transmute that to other people. Right? You're going to be hard on other people and have other people really, on pins and needles, because they don't know what you're gonna do. Right? They don't know if they make a mistake, if you're gonna judge them or if you're gonna, crash out. So I noticed that showing myself some compassion, giving myself that grace and that space to, you know, deal, I started to create more, right? I started to just be more comfortable, look, trusting me with me, right? Um, and I probably want to make a video about that. That's an interesting concept. That struggle within self and trying to get the best out of yourself, but doing it with the worst of yourself, kind of thing. All right, I'm gonna bookmark that. But all right, so that first one is self-compassion. All right, the second one is meditation or some form of mindfulness. Now, I know we hear about meditation and this, that, and the next. For me, it's a go. It's a go for me because I have built a habit of being anxious all the time. And I also had a lot of ruminating thoughts. So you're talking about rumination, you're talking about just very, very anxious, very, very just on 10 all the time, on 100 all the time. And I said, okay, I'm going to try meditation. So the first time I tried meditation, totally cried. Like I put on my first meditation was guided, which if you have never meditated before, just go to YouTube, guided meditation for whatever you're dealing with. I put guided meditation for letting go, right? Because I felt like I had a lot, that I was carrying a lot physically, mentally, emotionally, and I just wanted to let it all go. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put on a guided meditation on letting go. So I did. And it was just a crying fest. Like just cry, cry, cry. Then as I made the meditation habit more consistent, I realized that it was easy. Okay, when you start to meditate, let me roll back. When you start to meditate, you're gonna notice that your thoughts are everywhere, right? Like you are chasing your thoughts are chasing you, and you're just trying to like center yourself. And what this is telling you is that you do run away with your thoughts. You are busy, busy, busy in your head. And most of us are. But meditation kind of brings you to a place where I'm going to say wrangling yourself, because like when you're running around chasing these thoughts and you're able to like pull yourself out of those thoughts and get back into being present, it's a skill. And for me, I guess the benefits that I've gotten from meditation is the ability to shut the world off. Like now I can just sit down, close my eyes, we're done, right? And if I'm not doing that, I'm just choosing not to, right? I'm purposely using it for a thinking session, which I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to do that. But sometimes I sit down and I have so much on my mind, I literally have to run through some scenarios. And sitting down in quiet is the perfect time to do it. So, but I have the ability now to sit down and just leave it where it's at, right? And turn the world off and just go into a space where I'm listening to everything around me, and I am listening to my breath, and I'm experiencing my breath. And again, this just, it helps me to compartmentalize, and it helps me to not gnaw on the bone, right? Because as long as I'm awake, as long as I'm present, as long as I'm conscious and, running around doing all the things, it's always something to do. There's always something to be. There's always someone who needs me. It's always something that needs to get done. At that time, it's just not. And that 10-minute or 15-minute or 20-minute session, it helps to kind of like reset you, right? That's the best thing I can say about mindfulness and meditation. And there's all kinds of mindfulness activities that you can do. It's not necessarily sitting down and meditating. Sometimes it's walking, right? Sometimes it's listening to music and kind of being in stillness. Sometimes it's driving. Like some people find driving to be therapeutic and to get them into a mindful state. So you have to find a way to center, a way to turn the world off for a couple of minutes. That's it. And that's going to make you, number one, a more mindful creator. You're going to get ideas really, really easily. Like things will make sense. And sometimes if you can commit to turning the world off, you'll start hearing from angels, God, I don't know what it is, but I've gotten so many downloads just from saying, I'm going to sit down for a second and just not mess with whatever's going on outside and the bills and the kids and the this and the that. And I've gotten some of my greatest downloads just from doing that. So find you some way to be mindful. And again, if you want to start off with meditation, go on YouTube and type guided meditation for anxiety, guided meditation for moms, guided meditation for creators, and it'll guide you through. And you can put even minutes. You can put a 5-minute guided meditation or a 10-minute guided meditation. And there's 2-minute meditations. There's 1-minute meditations. Start small, right? I promise you it'll help. All right. And this next one, it's a little controversial, but exercise. Exercise, fitness, body movement. With this, you're lowering your cortisol and stress. You're increasing your happy chemicals, and it makes you feel more sexy. It makes you feel more powerful, and it makes you feel empowered. When you physically connect with your body and make yourself stronger. It not only makes your body stronger, it makes your mind stronger. And for no other reason but to create like a boss, I would start walking, strength training, right? Not for the glitz and the glamour and the weight loss and all of this. And no, you're going to exude power. You're going to exude sexy. You're going to exude, this is my world, y'all living in it kind of energy. And again, just like the mindfulness with exercise, find your thing, right? It just may be the Stairmaster, right? You may want to walk, jog, exclusively use dumbbells and just, do 10-minute dumbbell exercise every morning. Pilates, love Pilates, my absolute favorite. Yoga, they got the walking mats that you can buy in your house where you can just walk on that thingy. I saw it on TikTok. I don't know what it's called. It's like a walking situation. Find your thing. Maybe dance. I have a friend, she likes to dance, so she goes to dance classes. Biking, Peloton. I heard that's a whole bop, but Peloton, that costs. But if you have it in your budget, Peloton, I hear that's a good thing. So just find your thing, get into your body, lower your stress, increase your happy chemicals, and feel empowered, and go out here and create like a boss. All right, so number 4 is celebrating even the smallest things. This one I am learning myself. I know people who they celebrate everything, right? They high fiving themselves all over the place. They high five themselves. They be patting themselves on the back. They be buying themselves gifts. They just be like, listen, I am the bee's knees and I did so wonderful. Um, I'm getting here. I have done a lot. I do a lot. I show up, right? Even when I don't want to. And I'm still in a place where it's like, okay, that was so good. And I'm so proud of you. Like just being proud of myself and celebrating the fact that I, did the thing. It's a lot, right? And I know, some resonates with that where you all your life you just do what you need to do, right? You're not sitting around, you know, uh, uh patting yourself on the back every 5 minutes. You get in there, you strap up and you do what you need to do. And that's just what kind of person I am. I just do what I need to do and I go on about my business because guess what? It's other stuff to do, right? So while everybody's standing doing the congratulation dance and the happy dance and stuff like that, I'm like, listen, all right, so we got other stuff to do. Yes, it helps me get things done, but if you don't stop and celebrate yourself, you are literally a robot. Like you're just a robot and you are not acknowledging your efforts. And this leads to burnout. This leads to exhaustion. This leads to resentment. This leads to anger, right? Because you're doing. You're not stopping and saying, I love what you're doing. That's great. You did so good. So proud of you. I mean, this is what you're saying to yourself. You are just doing all the things. And again, there's nothing good that can come out of doing, and not stopping and saying and acknowledging your effort, acknowledging your strength, right? Acknowledging how you overcome obstacles, right? That's what the celebration is about, right? It's not so much about, balloons and popping bottles and stuff. Although you can do that if that's your thing. It is really about acknowledging how you're growing as a person. So please celebrate yourself, even the smallest things. Um, and then the last one I have is being aware of your emotions, really checking in, right? Acknowledging whatever and however you feel, and working through it and with it to move the needle on your creative work. And I think this is important in your creative journey to learn how to dance with your emotions as opposed to letting it stop you, letting it put you in a box or on a shelf, um, and just really feeling your way through. And I know this is hard because it's hard for me, right? Like I didn't have a great emotional day today, right? Um, but I'm here, right? Like I was like, yo, I'm still going to record today, and I'm still going to make my stuff, and it's just really important that we understand that feeling good is not a given, right? Feeling good is an ideal. You want to be on 1,000 when you are sitting down to write the book, to make the video, to bake the cakes, to create the cookbook, whatever you're trying to do. You want to be on 1,000, but some days you're not. And I think it's just being in a place of acknowledging, hey, I feel what I feel, and it is what it is, and naming the emotion, right? And putting yourself in even just a quiet space for a minute or two and doing breath work, right? Breathing in, breathing out, right? And then going to do what you need to do, right? Or giving yourself 24 hours to totally crash the hell out, right? Eat some food you ain't got no business eating, right? binging all the TV shows, going on a fast, eating vegetables and water for 24 hours, napping, look, sleeping for a whole day, allowing yourself to just feel how you feel and not to dwell, right? Or to stop, but to reset and come back to your gifts and come back to what you're creating in a more powerful way because you know how to deal with you, right? That's the gift of being emotionally intelligent and working through your emotional ups and downs and like being present in it, right? And it's something to say for somebody that's present in their emotions when they don't like them, right? When you don't like how you feel, but you're like, you know what? I'm here, right? This is how I feel, and that's what it is. Um, and so again, just I feel like the working through it and with the emotions helps us in our creative journey, and it helps us to create way better if we're able to play with our emotions and be with them and just acknowledge them and crash all the way out if we need to, and then come back and be like, okay, I'm ready again. Right. Because I mean, once again, who's gonna stop you? Who's gonna tell you can't? Nobody. That's all I have for today, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all keep making stuff and creating stuff. I'm out. Bye.